With a pair of scissors, I have done the unthinkable. I saved Scott Panchik's knee. Yo, so this weekend, semifinals went down. There was 3 of them. It was the Torium Pro, it was the Syndicate, and it was the Lowlands. Something that I have talked about on end is how I did not think that the 2 standardized workouts were a good idea. I didn't think that the legless rope climb was a good test to be doing over and over again. And the only reason I really talked about that is because CrossFit pumped it up as a repeat workout. So here's finally our repeat workout. You're going to repeat a workout and then you're not even going to do it the right way. They also standardized these workouts, right? And the method in which they standardized them, they also took away from the way that they were supposed to be repeating them, which was with the chest piece, which if you watched the Savon show, which I was covering all of these events on, along with Savon and Taylor and JR and Brian and everybody, you'll have heard me say that I actually think it was a better event when you didn't have to move that chest piece. So while it was better, it still wasn't repeated. With this event being a repeat, something that I'd never thought of would have been the fact that it was unsafe. Top of my head, one of the only times that I think something has been unsafe in the past was the Murph event, and that was only because a bunch of other people were saying it was unsafe. Oh, it's too hot. The athletes were doing it midday, yada, it's California, blah. It's like, well, that's heat, whatever. You can't control the freaking sky. If it's going to rain, if it's going to snow, if it's going to thunder, it's going to happen. The thing that you can control on a workout and when you're putting workouts into place is the length of a rope. This is super weird to me because when you look at the Torium Pro, their ropes are short.
Having the regrip at the top hasn't been that costly.
The ropes aren't sitting on the floor. Any single affiliate owner, most people who have ever climbed a rope know that when you're descending from a rope, that part that hangs on the floor is a hazard. It's a huge hazard. They should put like one of those yellow signs that you see in the grocery store. It's a slipping hazard. It's a hazard. You come down on that, you're going to roll your ankle. And it took out one of the greatest people to ever have done the sport. The Mount Rushmore of people who have done the sport. Scott Panchik, who's been doing it forever. He retired last year. Remember, he retired. And he retired from a knee injury. But this isn't the knee that he injured. He injured his good knee coming down off the rope, and this is after he himself brought this up to CrossFit. So he makes a post. And it says, at 7:30, we are briefed on the day's events. After seeing the amount of rope left on the competition floor, I verbally expressed concerns for the athlete's safety in the event in an event as fast as this one. I felt I presented a strong case with various examples of why this could be unsafe. There have been multiple noted injuries in the past in events like this. I also mentioned that the Torium Pro had done the event already and that it was cut, keeping the rope off the ground. I was told nothing could be done to change the ropes, and this is what was provided to be used. Heading into the final, it was obvious that every second would count. During the descent in round 3 or 4, my foot landed on the extra rope on the ground. That's when I felt a pop in my good knee. I managed to finish the event in the hopes that it wasn't that bad. Spent 2 to 3 hours out with medical testing movements and talking and praying with my wife. He eventually ended up pulling out of the competition. Now, what you're going to pick up in there is that Scott Panchik said something. And it's like, how in the fuck can you say you can't do anything? Here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got a rope, right? And you know what else I have here? A pair of scissors. I got the 2 things that you need. We have the technology. We have the stuff that we need to shorten the rope. And you know what you gotta do? You get in here and you cut, right? And you cut and you cut and you cut. And let's see how long this is gonna take to just, do what you gotta do. Take care of Scott Panchik. There's one. There's 2. There we go. We did it, all right? So that took me maybe a minute and a half. With a pair of scissors, I have done the unthinkable. I saved Scott Panchik's knee. All I had to do was cut it just a little bit at a time. I did it. I did something that CrossFit wouldn't do for one of the best athletes in the sport. Something that he foresaw happening, something that anybody with half a brain could foresee happening. I cut the rope.
Please, if you've ever trusted me before, trust me on this. Cut the rope.
I'm going to get rid of this now so I can continue the video. So you know what I hear during that? I hear something, sort of an excuse. I hear, when it's as easy as me taking a pair of scissors and assuming that they have something like a hacksaw or just about anything any idiot could decide to cut a rope with, anything with a serrated edge, it sounds like a lot of people who just don't want to work these days. You see something, it's like, yeah, this is okay, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to do that. It wasn't my job. It's not my job. You know what's your job? It's your job to keep the athletes freaking safe. You want to know the worst part about all of this? Is that Justin Berg was there. He was at the freaking event. CrossFit responded to this entire situation. You know where they responded? Via the morning freaking chalk up. They responded to the morning chalk up. Justin Burke has a statement. Unfortunately, Scott's concerned about the rope climb did not reach CrossFit HQ prior to the event. Ensuring a real-time channel of dialogue and escalation for athletes during events was the reason we created the new competition liaison position this season. But clearly there was a breakdown. There was a breakdown because you put a position in for a new job, a job like something that was created so that you could do these things on the fly, like shorten a rope with a pair of scissors, and there was a breakdown causing one of the best athletes of all time to blow their knee out. An athlete held at such high regard in the sport, has been around for almost a freaking decade or more, in a workout that was supposed to be standardized across every single division, and you're looking over the Torian and they have short ropes. I tried to make it abundantly clear on the Savant Show that it is a different workout. If some ropes are short and some ropes are long, there's a big difference. You can go ahead and look at Tia Toomey. Tia Toomey, who's blown away every single freaking athlete's score. She finished in the 3:30s, and then you look at Christy Aramo at the freaking Syndicate, and she's a faster time. I could go ahead and bet you that it might just be because the rope was on the ground. Maybe it was allowing Christy Aramo to move a little bit quicker. I don't know. You can't say because it's not a standardized fucking workout. A standardized workout. It was supposed to be standardized, right? What are the odds that somebody at the Torian was like, you know what, these ropes are a little bit long. We don't want to land on them. That wouldn't be very smart. Like, yeah, we can do that. We have the technology. We're going to take these and we're going to freaking fix it. The other thing that we might want to think about here is the CrossFit Athlete Advisory Council. So Scott Panchik retired. Remember, that was a big thing last year. He said he retired. It was because of his knee. He made it through all the cuts. He did the entire competition. He made it through the competition. I believe he won the thruster wall walk workout. He was doing real well. And then this year he decided to keep on going with it. He was feeling it this year. He was feeling it until CrossFit decided to cut the floor out from underneath him by not fixing the rope. The point of the Athlete Council was to do things like, hey, these things are unsafe for the sport. The council will provide vital insight around judging, scoring appeals, and other topics from the stages of the 2022 Noble CrossFit Games alongside the input on future rulebook changes and competition formats. Stated right there in the article that was put out on January 14th of 2022. I'm going to go ahead and bet that that article was put out while they still thought, maybe Scott Panchik probably even thought that he was retired. What are the odds that the athlete put onto this council went on to then injure himself in a situation where somebody in his position on that council would be trying to look out for the other athletes? He's probably thinking that 7:30 a.m. when he's trying to put in his 2 cents worth. It's like, all right, I'm on this council. This isn't safe. And then it ends up actually being him to be the one who gets hurt. And I keep on saying the retired athletes because there's other ones on there that are retired, like the Krista Holte, Stacey Tovar, Alessandra Pacelli, Alethea Boone, Becca Voigt. Those people. They might be competing in the Masters division, some of them, but they've been in the sport for a long time. They have the insight. That's why they're on the Athlete Council. They're supposed to work along with the PFAA to do stuff like this and keep everybody safe. So the big takeaways from this are, it was supposed to be a standardized workout. The second that you make the ropes different lengths, it's no longer a standardized workout. It's stupid as all shit to do that kind of thing. And then you have somebody of Scott Panchik's stature talking about athlete safety. This is after an instance at a CrossFit sanctioned event, that being Wadapalooza, where the floors were a little bit wet. There was a giant storm, and then Matt O'Keefe comes out, talks to all the athletes. He says, hey guys, this is the deal. We can change up the entire event because it might be a little bit unsafe for you to be shuttle running on a wet floor. And then they ended up putting in burpees because burpees are a safer movement to be doing on a possibly wet floor. He was looking out for the athletes. He changed up the entire competition, the entire workout on the fly. That, in my opinion, is way fucking harder to do than to cut off the bottom of some ropes. All you gotta do is cut off the bottom of a rope and duct tape the bottom and you're good to go. You know, maybe they were worried about dirtying up the entire place. Duct tape the bottom. It's how I do every single rope ever. This is completely fucking insane. If I were Scott Panchik, I would be trying to get after CrossFit, if you know what I mean. What do you think about this entire situation? It's bad. It's so bad. I cannot believe that something like this would happen to somebody like him. And then I also can't believe that the statement put out by CrossFit, again, it's through the morning chalk up. It's like their only avenue of speaking to us is through the morning chalk up. The last one came out was that erroneous statement, and now they're saying that there's nothing that we could have done because we didn't get a message because the new position that we created to get this message to us didn't work. Competition liaison. You know what would have happened in the past if Dave Castro were at that event in the past? He would have gone out there with a hacksaw himself and cut the bottoms off the ropes. Actually, he probably would have have sent 10 people to go do it immediately. He's like, oh yeah, that's stupid. Why would we not think about that? Also in that Morning Chalk-Up post, you got Wilson Peck, the Syndicate Crown event director, ensuing athlete safety is of the utmost priority and is devastating to see any athlete injured in competition. Going forward, we have cut the ropes for the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge to a specific link approved by CrossFit to ensure this incident will not happen to another athlete. I'm glad that it only took taking out Scott Panchik for possibly the rest of his career to do that. You guys are freaking idiots. Andrew Hiller out.